Okay, welcome back to the Driving Humanity podcast. This is our episode number 11, and today we will be discussing about connecting the circle in waste management. It is a presentation by Pa Eko, and hopefully the viewers and listener can get many interesting information from this podcast. So, Pak Eko, I directly go to you.
Oke, Pak. Terima kasih, Pak. I still cannot share my screen, Pak.
Oh, hold on. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so let's start with these topics of connecting the circle in waste management. I'd like to start with what I see in my the city or the town or the country that I live now, which is Singapore. So Singapore government is giving a very good flyer to the cities, to the residents. Yeah, so the resident, not only the citizens, the residents, they receive this kind of flyer that we should save water, how to save water, and so on. And there are a lot of initiatives that the government are make. They are dealing with a lot of companies recycling waste. So one of it is this e-waste, which is those electronics goods that we don't need it anymore, like old phones or old electronics products or home appliance that we don't need it anymore, or it's broken and it's not repairable. So we can just go to this kind of box or reverse, what they call it, a reverse vending machine. So we can put those broken things, broken electronics thing there, and we can get some kind of incentive as a token of appreciation. And the government also do things like plastic bottles collection, aluminum can collections. So they put this kind of reverse vending machine in a lot of places. What the latest statistic that we have is that they put around 50 machine of this recycle reverse vending machine to recycle those plastic and aluminum cans. Only 50 so far from October 2019 until now. So it's not much yet, but it started, yeah. And among this 50 machine that we have island-wide, by December 2021, we have collected around 6 million of plastic bottles and as well as the aluminum can. So they don't really give a segregation, how many plastic bottle, how many cans and so on. So it started to build up. So it started to build up the culture of recycling from the citizen or from the residents. So they are no longer throwing those used bottles and used cans, just throw it onto the dustbin, but instead they go to those machine, put it there. They get some voucher or even some depends on the machine. They even come back with some a token, which you can exchange it with some discount, or you can also use it to purchase any goods in supermarket. So it encourages the residents to do recycling. Previously, we don't have this kind of initiative. We only put something like this, which this is in my office. We have this kind of bins, different kind of bins that you just put like glass cans and plastic bottles, different things. We have this kind of bins all over the city, um, around neighborhood, around housing areas, apartments. They put a few of these bins, but not many of the residents using it because there's no incentive of doing so. And so it proves that the later initiative from government works. Yeah. I saw this kind of things before in Germany, for example. If you bring back the bottles, it's either glass bottles or plastic bottles to the supermarket, we can get a cashback, or a kind of um, it's either cashback or a discount when we purchase again. I say we will purchase another mineral water or another drinks, then, or for those German, they purchase beers. When they bring back those bottles, they get a discount or they get a cashback. So uh, it's I think it's a good initiative which will develop the a culture or the understanding of the importance of recycling. And with that, actually, I would like to bring to Indonesia. And this is the statistic that we have. So from October 2019 until December 2021, we have around 50 reverse vending machine. And with that 50, we can already collect around 9 million plastic bottles. Of course, a bit low because of 2019, 2000 or 2020, there are lockdown and so on. So a lot of people are not going out and so on. Yeah. So we take a look at Indonesia. What I would like to have, right? So this uh, our activity now is in CTSS-IPB University, right? With this podcast, or the CTSS itself as uh, a part of IPB University. Maybe we can take a look of what the activities that already available in or already started in Indonesia. So I can take some example like this country, Indonesia Plastic. Uh, plastic recycles, yeah. So Indonesia Plastic Recycles, there's these activities already, and I take a look at how they do and so on. Very similar to what Singapore has been doing. I don't know how massive it is and where are they now. We need to take a look again. The key is that there's somebody already starting it. Yeah, there's already a company who start this activities, and they are initiate this. They also trying to get all those garbage collector or pemulung to drop in those plastic waste to their machine. Then I saw also some companies. One of the companies that trying to do this Hali Peduli Sampah. So how do we care about the waste? And they also trying to engage this pemulung to be part of the community who do recycling. Yeah. Other company, they're also this doing recycle, so they are doing similar. So also plastic bottle. You take a look at the machine, probably very similar to what Singapore is doing. So we are not far behind our neighbor. So there are already a company that a few companies that has been starting the similar activities. Probably you just need to see where they are and how the progress and so on. And on another area like the rest of waste, yeah, there are also some waste that can be easily recycled, like carton box or corrugated papers. Again, there is this Bebas Sampah ID. This group of companies and individuals, they are having this the activity, doing it together to collect, to do a collective effort to recycle papers, to collect those waste so that it can be reused again. One of the company who is doing those recycling is this groups, and the one of the board of director of this company also has recently been interviewed by Channel News Asia, because he represent Indonesia as a youth Asian youth initiator on sustainability. So probably my wish, or what I can propose to CTSS and in general, probably I hope that CTSS can link all these activities that we already have in Indonesia, and with that link, connecting the dots, connecting those activities to be a full circle, and that what we normally what we know as a circular economy. We recycle what is thrown to be another source of income for other people, and that the process itself is also another opportunity of creating a job and so on. Yeah. So this is the idea, Pak Eka, Pak Kostop. So I would like to hear also your what is your view about this idea. Thank you, Pak.
Thanks, Paiko. And Paika, before we, any comments from your side or?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Actually, Pak Eko, if you can, I would like to share screen. So
Yes, please, Pak. I
okay.
would stop. How do I stop this? Yeah.
Okay. So for our viewers and listeners, maybe they are now currently a bit confused because we start this podcast with EV, and then we have a discussion with Indra from Toyota Daihatsu, and then we also discuss sustainability with technology with Miss Richa from India. So just to give a highlight or some short explanation that what we are trying to do in this podcast is I would like to share the screen with you. Yeah. So this is a figure from the book of Being You by Anil Seth. So this book is about consciousness, basically. And this in figure 2, of course, it is related to consciousness, but I would like to expand it to a more global or universal understanding. So this figure is trying to say, if you see in this left lower side, There are many dots and arrows like a vector, and each is pointing the other way around, and also some small arrows, some big arrow. This is a condition that, as you see, the x-axis is a regularity. So going down here becomes more regular, but near here, near the complexity, is irregular. And the y-axis is complexity, means that here in the between complexity and regularity, the complexity is low. So this condition is irregular and not so complex, but irregular means, I would say in my own words, terms like chaos. Yeah. Everything is running here and there, no alignment, no nothing. So the second picture is in this blue box, is that it is a complexity. There are some patterns, there are some regularity in those dots, in those vectors, and they are trying to connect with each other. But still the situation is complex. It is not fixed. And finally, it is becoming not complex and regular. So this is what is expected after we discuss the complexity. We can see the pattern, then we can formulate or create new knowledge as a basis of a new culture or new behavior. So this picture draws very well with our main message, I think. Either we are discussing about EV, either we're discussing about waste, either sustainability and technology, but as per the CTSS name of transdisciplinarity or transdisciplinary, the basic process is here. From these factors that are running around here and there, we will try and have a complexity. We will try through complexity to see the pattern and formulate a new structure, a new culture, or a new behavior that will solve the current complex problem. If you still remember that in the EV, we say having EV is not about from fossil fuel to EV, but we change the whole energy ecosystem. So and also it is emphasized by Mahindra with Toyota from becoming to mobility company from car producer. And then Bu Richa, also Miss Richa mentioned about how technology can support, become a support for sustainability. That is maybe a few years back is not even thought about. So I think this is my main message or explanation to our listener and viewer, so they can feel what we are trying to say.
Great, Paika and Paiko. Thanks for that. If you permit, I'll just share my screen so that,
Yeah.
Let me know once it's visible.
Okay, it is visible now.
Okay. You're able to see the woman standing in front of the garbage? Or?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is just to continue, let's say, Paiko's message today. Let's say, like, we need to recycle, and there is a large impetus and focus on, say, recycling the waste, and then there are some loyalty points or some privileges which are given by the government. But this is a story of an Indonesian woman just around the IPB area. Her name is Khilda, Ibu Khilda, and she is in Cimahi, Indonesia, and she recycles the waste and to produce, interesting products. So those are, let's say, like the wallets, the purse, dumpets, and whatnot, and even say bags and all. So there are so many things which she is already undertaking, and there's a lot of things which you have done. So she has, in a way, let's say, like Paiko, what you were saying, creating the jobs. So as I was reading here, she has created a job for almost 5,000 odd women who are collecting the scrap in various locations in Indonesia, and then building it and bringing it to make a wonderful thing out of that. So it's basically creating an art from the waste. That is one aspect to that. And definitely it could go into the circular economy or whatever, the business world words we would use or jargons we would use. But these are, let's say, like an opportunity where there's a problem and how we can come as a team, as a consortium to solve it and achieve a win-win situation for all of us. So interestingly, as more and more government focuses on that, and there is leverage and that kind of an attention, definitely we will have new business ideas, new business models, and definitely a recycled products, which is again in line with the environmental and sustainable goals, which emphasizes on using or reusing the materials which is already available than producing the new one. So that's something which is in track in terms of the ESG goals. And likewise, coming to Paika's point, as he aptly put, initially there's a chaos and then there's a structured arrangement. So usually it's called as the VUCA world, PUCA. V is for the volatility, U is for the uh, unclear or uh, unclear word, and then we have the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So from that aspect, initially it will be all volatile, complex, and ambiguous. We don't know what to do, but we would take certain steps so that there will be certain structure would be created, and then there will be an alignment. So any organization, if you would find, it would follow the same logical, same principle of the growth. No company on day one would be completely organized or aligned or anything. It will have its own uh, way to find its success. It will have its own way to find its failures and learn from those and to come out as a stronger one. So this is a part of evolution, and this is the part of any ecosystem or anything on this planet would grow or uh, evolve over a given period of time. So as Paika was mentioning, we started with an EV, but today we are talking about the waste. So that's the entire life cycle of anything. So you need to produce, but you also need to take into cognizance, let's say, like how you are going to, put to use once its life is ending. It's true with our life also, right? So when a human being is born, he is going into various phases, and when he dies, there are certain things which we need to be followed. Different religions has different ways to address that. So it's complete life cycle. It's not only just giving something or creating something. It's of equal importance that whatever is created is disposed of in the right way without impacting the nature. So that's my take. All over to you, Paika and Paiko.
Thank you very much, Pa Kaustup, and a very well summary that you have summarized based on what I propose, and you have also seen the news about actually a lot of individuals and groups or even companies that have started to do this. What we want is like what Paeka explained on the pictures. Currently, those activities are still scattered as a chaotic activity, individual activity, and we are reaching to the area where it start to get connected, but it will still be complex. Yeah, and hopefully in the run where it start to get organized, and it will become connected, and it's no longer a complex. Yeah. Okay, Paika, back to you.
Yeah, I totally agree, Pak Eko and Pak Kostum. So if the viewers, listeners, and also Pak Kostum and Pak Eko remember, in our EV, I propose the model of dance of change. So where there are three cycles: cycles of innovating, cycles of sustaining, and cycle of redesigning. So I think what Pak Kostup and Pak Eko mentioned is very good for Indonesia. We already start, but it is still in the initiating, like Pak Eko say. Singapore maybe already moving to the sustaining and also possibly towards the redesigning. So people is motivated to do those new culture shape and so on and so forth. So I was hoping and am hoping always that Indonesia can do the same and we can contribute something in that process from initiating to sustaining to redesign. So this is what is driving humanity forward and the Green Paradox all about. So we will touch upon any subject that is interesting, but we will analyze it in such a way how it can be initiated, how it can be sustained, and how it can redesign with new culture, new behavior.
So,
I
Paika, if you
yeah
just permit one thing, I very interesting point where you made when you said the Indonesia has started and it's a good thing. Definitely, it's a good thing. But one thing is, let's say, like it's not a competition. It's basically we are not, there's no podium finish. Let's say who ends first or who ends third or something. However, what I would like to emphasize on is it's more of a involvement and engagement with the masses. It has to create as a mass movement. Usually people would be thinking, let's say like climate change is being talked about, there are COP26 happening, world leaders meeting. So it's maybe the problem for the big ones, the governments and all. But I would like to make a point here is it's not about the government. It's not about the only presidents or the big organizations. It's for all of us because we are not untouched due to the impact what it is going to have. But to contribute towards it or to solve this, if we take these steps, these may appear small steps, but if let's say like every Singaporean or every Indonesian takes the similar steps, we are those many steps ahead in achieving those and realizing those, right? So just maybe a discipline of segregating the waste, inorganic and organic, will be a sea change in terms of how we can be able to handle that. Because for organic there are various ways to dispose, for inorganic there may be different ways to dispose, and that could help us to bring out, let's say like products book Hilda is making in her organization, or the organic waste could go as a fertilizer in the farms, increasing the carbon and increasing the organic carbon, which is in a way resulting into better yield. So we all can contribute for this climate change in this fashion. So it's not limited to the governments or the big organizations, but it's for all of us, and we can contribute in this fashion to make this a mass movement. Over to you, Paika.
yeah totally agree, Pak. And sorry, I didn't mean about competition, but
Yeah.
sometimes I forget. But that is why we are all here. Pak Kostup from India, Pak Eko from Singapore, also Indonesian, and myself here. That is whole purpose that we are
Right.
here
Right.
together, collaborating and not competing to have a better future
Yeah.
for our children. It's true. And I also believe that it doesn't depend on the government or the big players. Or it depends on us to become the mass movement. Any thoughts, Michael?
It's a collective effort, Pak. Yeah. It's a collective effort.
Yeah.
So every one of us has a duty, or has we have to chip in to make it happen.
I agree. It is collective, but again, to the model of dance and change, it starts from enthusiasm of the person. And that is what we are trying to drive the person to have the enthusiasm so he can initiate, train, and then redesign. Is that not so?
Enthusiasm is contagious. It's as contagious as yawning. So if you really see, if one person yawns in the room, everybody starts yawning it. So enthusiasm is equally contagious. So if one person is passionate and enthusiast, definitely it will have those vibes and it will take it forward to the next levels, and it could become a mass movement.
I love your optimism, and I support it. So I think this is a very brief podcast, but it doesn't mean the content is brief. Content is very deep. And I hope the viewers and the listeners now can have a bit more understanding. Oh, this is what driving humanity forward is trying to do. And maybe next chip in, join our podcast. Let us see. What do you think, Faika?
Yeah, looking forward.
Looking forward, definitely interesting times ahead.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay, then for today's podcast, I think that is the end of our today podcast. And I, as usual, thank you very much for your time, Faika and Kostub. And let us be optimistic. Will be how to say, with our enthusiasm, we will be also affected, not only COVID, but also our enthusiasm.
True.
Okay.
I like that part.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.